What if everything you know is wrong?
All right, today we're going to decode some of your body's most subtle yet super important messages. We're talking about inflammation. And trust me, understanding its hidden signals, well, it's absolutely crucial for your long-term health.
So let me ask you something. Do you ever just feel, well, off? You're always tired, maybe a bit more anxious than you'd like, or you've got these aches and pains that just don't make sense. If that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. And what if I told you those feelings might be way more connected than you realize?
I mean, just look at this list of common complaints. We're talking persistent fatigue, that annoying brain fog, mood swings, weird joint and muscle pain, digestive trouble, even skin rashes. It's so easy to just write this stuff off, right? Oh, I'm just stressed, or I'm just getting older. But what if these aren't separate problems at all? What if they're all just clues, these little signals your body's sending about one single underlying issue? And yeah, you guessed it, that underlying issue is very often inflammation. Now, I know the word inflammation gets a really bad rap, but here's the thing. It's not all bad. Not at all. It actually has two completely different faces. Think of it like the difference between a good fire, like a cozy campfire, and a really, really bad fire. At its core, inflammation is basically your body's first responder. You get a cut, you catch a bug, your immune system goes into overdrive, rushing to the scene to fight off any invaders and kickstart the healing process. And this is a good thing. It's an absolutely vital protective shield. Seriously, without it, even a tiny paper cut could become a huge problem. Okay, so let's break down these two types. On one side, you've got acute inflammation. This is the firefighter. It shows up, does its job, and leaves. It's short term, its whole purpose is to heal you. And the signs are super obvious, right? Redness, swelling, heat, pain. You know it's there. But then you have chronic inflammation. This is the smoldering fire. It's long term, it's damaging, and its signs are hidden. They're subtle. And that's exactly what makes it so sneaky and dangerous. So it's those subtle clues, the evidence of that smoldering fire, that we really need to learn how to read. Because this is the stuff that can fly under the radar for months or even years. So what does this actually feel like in your body? Well, it often shows up as that deep, persistent fatigue that no amount of sleep seems to fix. It can totally mess with your metabolism, leading to weight changes you can't explain, and it can even wear down your immune system, so you feel like you're catching every little thing that goes around. And your gut? Oh, that's a huge hotspot for this kind of thing. If your gut is chronically inflamed, you might be dealing with constant bloating, constipation, diarrhea, acid reflux, you name it. And listen, these are not just minor annoyances. They are big, flashing signs that a really crucial system in your body is under serious stress. And the effects don't stop there. This goes way beyond the purely physical. Inflammation doesn't just mess with your body, it messes with your mind. That brain fog that makes it impossible to focus, that low-grade anxiety or irritability that you just can't shake, yep, the research is crystal clear now. There's a powerful link between chronic inflammation and how you feel mentally and emotionally. Okay, to really get how this all connects, we need to look at one of the most mind-blowing connections in the entire human body, the link between your gut and your brain. There's a reason scientists and doctors like Dr. Pratap Behera call the gut our second brain. It's not just some tube for processing food. I mean, it's literally lined with millions of nerve cells, creating this super complex communication highway that's in constant contact with your actual brain. It's talking back and forth all day, every day, influencing everything from your stress levels to your mood. And if you need proof, get ready for this number. A whopping 90%, that's right, 90% of your body's serotonin is made in your gut. We're talking about the feel-good chemical that keeps your mood stable. And it's not made in your brain, it's made in your gut. So it's simple, right? If your gut is inflamed and unhealthy, that serotonin factory can just shut down. And what that creates is this absolutely vicious cycle. It goes like this. First, inflammation in the gut sends out these little distress signals to the brain. Your brain then picks up on that and goes, whoa, something's wrong, and perceives it as mental stress. But then that increased stress turns around and disrupts your gut even more. So the cycle just keeps repeating, getting worse and worse, making you feel physically and mentally stuck. Okay, so this is the part where we answer the big, so what? Why does this all matter so much? Well, it's simple. A smoldering fire, if you just ignore it, will eventually burn the whole house down. And the long-term consequences of chronic inflammation, they are no joke. In fact, get this, chronic inflammatory diseases are now linked to more than half of all deaths around the world. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. More than 50%. It's a shocking number, and it really drives home how incredibly critical it is to start paying attention to those early subtle signs we've been talking about.
Now, to be clear, chronic inflammation isn't a disease on its own. It's more like the accomplice. It's that persistent, low-grade fire that helps fuel so many of the biggest health problems out there. We're talking about it being a major player in cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, autoimmune issues, even certain cancers. It has its fingerprints everywhere. And hey, this isn't just a theory. The data is rock solid. Big studies show that the higher your levels of this body-wide inflammation, the higher your risk for some really serious stuff. We're talking a 25% higher risk of cardiovascular disease, a 32% higher risk of type 2 diabetes, and a 32% higher risk of dying from, well, anything. The numbers are pretty stark.
Okay, I know that all sounds pretty heavy, maybe even a little scary, but the point here isn't to freak you out. The real message is one of empowerment, because the absolute key to taking back control is just to start listening, really listening to what your body is trying to tell you. So if you remember one thing from all this, let it be this. Look, you can't prevent every single thing that causes inflammation. That's just life. But awareness, being able to recognize those subtle, persistent signs, that is the first and honestly the most powerful step you can take. Awareness is the starting line. It's what gives you the power to start connecting the dots for yourself and ask the right questions about your health. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. Your body is talking to you all the time. It's constantly sending you these little data points about what's going on inside. So the real question isn't whether your body is talking, it's, are you listening?
Understanding begins with why.